Okay, I'm Reverend Joe Rutledge. Thank you for joining us here at Healing Light Fellowship services on this Sunday morning. And once again, the topic will be manifesting who you are. In a time when maybe we've forgotten who we are or we're trying to figure it out once again, I thought it might be appropriate because everything that seems to be challenging one of us could be related to a relationship of work, of friends, or groups, or someone you know that's making you think a different way because you've had to view them in a different way, or maybe all of a sudden you went from empty nesters to having five in the house again. But when you're confident with who you are, you have goals. And it's like you have this internal compass, and it tells you what to do, or it helps you understand, good or bad, whether what you're doing is helping you move forward. The challenge we have is it's hard to let go of the past, but here's the thing. Yesterday's gone. It doesn't matter who yelled at you yesterday. Today's a brand new day. Make today the best day. Let's focus on who we're becoming, not what happened yesterday. Yesterday's gone. We all will have speed bumps. I promise you that. And there always is going to be speed bumps, even with the most perfect person. God's gift to us is life and free will, and the knowledge that we are God's children. We're each accountable and responsible for creating the life that we have and the life we're living. Whether you love your life or not, it's your job to own it. Each of you. And as we own it, we can realize we can make a difference first for ourselves and then for others. We have to take charge. Only we can make the change. Owning what happens in your life is probably the most important decision we have to make. And yet, when we're young, we're not even taught that that's going to be part of our process. We just learn what's a no and what's a yes. I would probably say many of us have spent more time planning out our 14-day vacation than we have what our next life goal is going to be. If I think about the time I spent planning my last vacation, it does feel somewhat true. But without a goal, how can God help inspire us? We need something to think about so that God can give the thought impressions, line up the people to help us move forward in that direction. If you don't have that goal or that thought in mind of where you want to take, it doesn't have to be a grandiose step. It could be simply getting better with your health, getting better with a relationship. Make it small, but make it a goal so that God can help show you we're with you always. We all will get there because that proof is going to get to your heart and help you understand now I can have bigger, better goals. After all, why would we leave that most important opportunity to set a goal in life to chance? You know, we try to speak from examples, and I recently had an opportunity to watch one of my good friends get derailed. And it made me question them. I simply said, who are you trying to be? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to be what you want to be or what somebody else wants you to be? Because you're not who you are. And we learn from each other. So I'm going to share this lesson in hopes that maybe somehow, some way it connects with somebody. We're going to take detours, but we're going to learn from the lessons that we're given, and we hope that the lessons that we learn from, we can help somebody else learn so they don't have to go maybe as deep down into depression or have the hardships that we've had. So my friend, he once had a dream. He knew what career path he wanted to take. He loved and was passionate about it. Nothing was going to deter my friend. So what happened? Twice, it was a relationship. It was a relationship. God can't prepare us for the relationship issues. And we all come from different families, so our reality of what a relationship is different. Unfortunately, it's going to be true all the time. So compassion is important when you're trying to understand and iron out relationships. Learning about somebody else is also important. But sometimes those extreme lessons come from an individual that just may not be on the same page. They may not have a goal in life. They may simply think we're here to be here. Well, that's okay if that's how they grew up. But if you're somebody who's grown up and you've got a goal to be the best chef, the best accountant, the best of something, and then share your story with others and make a difference, and then that person's upset with you because you're not spending all the time 24/7 with them, there's a mismatch there. There's going to be some friction, if you will. But it's okay. We're all God's people, and we're going to get through this. And we must communicate. See, this process of having a relationship meant my friend spent time with their new friend 24/7. It broke apart relationships. It broke apart strong friendships that were very goal-oriented. And so, yes, of course he felt a detachment because the core that he had for his goal, he was no longer a part of. Unfortunately, he didn't realize it until he buried himself in sleep and stopped going to classes and had to seek help. So this can happen to each one of us at some point in time. It could be after you have children. It could be after you've lost a job. There's many catalysts that can put this in motion, but usually it's a relationship that you can kind of tie it back. Is the support there, or is it more one-sided? So my friend got help, and I could see he was compassionate. He knew what to do, and he knows what to do, but he doesn't want to hurt somebody. It never feels good to hurt somebody. But you got to understand, why am I here? Why is it that I don't like what I'm becoming? And is it more important to get back on track? Because here's the thing, happiness and joy, they're an inside job. And because of that, it's difficult. We will always teach you, I can be happy around you and you can feel good, but as soon as I leave, if you don't have the joy inside, it's going to be hard for you to be happy when I leave. And honestly, if you have to rely externally on your friends or family members to get the joy, you're exhausting them. And you're not helping yourself. You've got to find that self-love. It's not an easy task, but make it a priority. Because when you're fulfilled, you will be aligned with what you need to be aligned with. So watching from the sidelines, my friend was manifesting his new reality. Again, waiting to be focused. He couldn't take care of himself, and in time, I hope he will. But as a person, we all need some space, right? So the question I would have is, do you want to be the person that is trying to take someone's time 24/7 in a relationship or in a group? Or do you want to be the person who's giving someone space and allowing them to move into their goal? I don't think we do those things intentionally, but I know they happen. I watch it. And if we had the opportunity to watch a video of ourselves, we're like, oh, I did it. But it's more fun to call yourself out than somebody else to call you out, right? It's more fun to make your own correction than to have somebody say, you're not letting me live my life. So I'm thankful my friend is reflecting and seeing some of this through therapy and through help. So why am I sharing all this? Because I want us all to become who we are. And sometimes becoming who we are means we have to recognize the people who are holding us back and learn how to be stronger so that we can move forward. And being confined in our environment during COVID has caused us to put up with more things than we normally might. And we don't have a way to just go out and run or go to a concert and be free or whatever the case might be that helps you get through that. But we have choices. And these choices are the building blocks that make us who we are, that make us better. We're all imperfect humans, but our imperfect examples help us to help other people. You know, we get distracted by this inside chatter in our head. Has anybody had this thought in the morning and they can't get rid of it? And you're like, why am I thinking this? Shut up, head. I don't want to hear this. It happens. It happens a lot. And that's why we got to get into the heart. We got to work on reflecting our heart and making our heart stronger than what goes through our head. If you're distracted by that inside chatter, or if you're distracted by the media, be it the TV, the internet, or whatever, and what it's saying, snap out of it. Turn it off. How can you turn it off? Play your favorite song that's in your head, because you got to get something out of your head. I mean, you don't want to earwig at your head in the middle of the night, right? So why would you want this chatter that's negative standing around? Do something to change it. Usually, playing a good song can work. We can move forward. I know it's your time, because I would not have been impressed to think about these things and share them if it wasn't your time to hear it today. Now, put differently, if you keep fighting for someone to change so that you can be happy, you're focused on the wrong thing. But if you're working on yourself to manifest good news for you, then you're putting it out to the universe. Help me. Help me to accomplish this. And I'll be aware of the signs that you give, because the God within us wants us to succeed. But it also, if you're asking someone to compromise so that you can be happy, think again. And learn, instead of doing that, learn to love that person for who they are. Okay, they're going to be imperfect. What about that can I love? And if you can't find enough, then maybe it's time to consider letting go. Sometimes we have friends for a short period. Sometimes we have friends for life. And they're all there because they were meant to be there short-term or long-term. It doesn't matter. They were there to help us learn and grow. We signed up for the life we're in today. We knew the lessons where our soul knows it. We don't know it. But have faith that you will get through this. Reverse your thinking. Now, years ago, I was what I would call a motivational book junkie. I hate reading, but I would put anything in my car and listen to it because I drove for hours, because I've always been in sales and I'm always driving. And I loved listening to it. Obviously, during COVID, I'm not driving as much. I hadn't had it, but now I'm starting to listen to books again. And I started reflecting on, well, what can I share that makes sense for this talk? And then a new book came to me, and I'm like, okay, there's a connection here. So some of you may have heard of Napoleon Hill and Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich is a pretty well-known book. Others may know of The Secret, essentially talking about the law of attraction. Well, there's a new book out now, The Lost Secret, or The Lost Chapters of Think and Grow Rich. Now here's the thing. Uniquely, if this was released when Think and Grow Rich was done, I think Think and Grow Rich would have been a spiritual book instead of a universal book. I think these chapters were held out for 100 years, give or take, but they were held back for a reason, so that the message in Think and Grow Rich could be universally accepted. And these chapters have come out now because the world is ready. And the Lost Secret, interestingly enough, it talks about the law of vibration and elevating your vibration. And in these lost chapters, it also talks about how you will be given information yourself. That changes the book. So I think it was brought out and given to this woman, to Monica Main, at a time when the world is opening up spiritually, and we're ready to maybe accept that. So now I would challenge you, read Think and Grow Rich again if you have, and then also read Monica Main's book. Tie it together and set a goal to become who you are. You know, Napoleon Hill would tell you, act like the person you want to be until you're convinced you are that person. I'd also remind you that thoughts are things. And be careful what you think, because if you had to analyze the thoughts you had before you came in today, would you really want to manifest that to happen? Would you want that to happen? So try to catch yourself early and often. We have been given the keys to our Ferrari in life. And our Ferrari is what we get to drive every day. Every day we have the keys to our Ferrari. And we need to drive that with as much joy as we can. Because if we had a new car every day, don't you think we'd drive it differently? Believe every day is a gift and a new day, and drive and make it a new gift. Now, one of the things that sticks out most in Napoleon Hill's book, I always recall this man was thinking about ending his life. He'd lost his job. He's made some bad investments. He goes in desperately to see Napoleon Hill, and Napoleon Hill looks at him and says, "How are you doing?" Napoleon Hill says, "I want to introduce you to somebody, a person who can solve all of your problems. But before I do, I want you to be ready to see this person and tell this person everything they need to know." And what does Napoleon Hill do? He puts him in front of a mirror. The person is himself. And that's why I tell you, we become who we are because we make a decision to do that. And you can change. And you will feel the change when you look at yourself in the mirror and you know, I'm the one in control, not the voice in my head. Now, disappointments are going to happen. And defeats, they're temporary. Always remember, it's a temporary defeat. Yesterday's gone, right? Today's a new day. So whatever defeated you yesterday, it's done. Today's a new day. And I like how Joel Osteen says it. I don't know if this is his line, but he always says, use your setback as a setup. To me, that's the simplest way to put it. I love how he uses that phrase. So if we really want to make change in the world, we got to look at the person in the mirror and make a change in that person first. The God essence in each of us is all we need to call on. We need to have positive self-talk and friends who are willing to give us that positive self-talk. Build your group of people who will build you up. That's what my friend had. That's what he took himself away from. And when he took himself away from that, he felt it. No person is ever whipped until they quit. Napoleon Hill writes that. You're not whipped until you quit. Don't quit. You still have the day left. Win. So which temporary defeat will we face today? Just know it's temporary. It's just today. It's not tomorrow. We're going to have those daily battles, but no, God is with us. God is going to help us through because the God in us is working to solve the problem 24/7. We got to be willing to listen. We got to be faithful, and we got to put it out there that someone's going to give us the answer because we have faith. Our bodies, our souls, and our spirit have amazing abilities if we would only stay in tune to them. Stop shutting it down and start listening to what your body, mind, and soul is telling you. Through your interactions, through your dreams, through what people tell you, you've got this. I'm telling you, you've got this. Today will always be your best day. It's the next chapter. Even though you think you're not in control, you are. Choose one thing you can have control over, and that's the one thing you start with. Okay? You can't control everything at once, but you control one thing to remind yourself, I'm in control. I made this decision. I'm moving forward. The thing is, in order to make that change, you need to tie that thought into an emotional response. You have to believe it. And then you need to take that action. And more, I want more love. Love more. I want a new job. Learn about the new job you think you might want. Make connections. Start talking to people. Go volunteer at the florist. Say, hey, I'm thinking about opening a florist. Can I volunteer? You may find out you hate it. It's too boring, too much inventory, whatever the case might be. But you tested it out before you changed your life. Just because you like the smell of flowers doesn't mean you're going to like arranging them and putting up with brides who might have higher expectations than yours. I'm just saying. So remember, you can only influence yourself. You can only influence today. Let go of yesterday. Give it up to God and move forward. Because if you can dream it, you can manifest it. Feel your emotions. Go and give power to those who can help you. Give it to the universe so the universe can give everything back to you and help you make that change. And if we believe in the manifesting of our better self, and I think all of you will, we can and will make changes in the world, one decision at a time, starting with the star of the show, and that's you. Thank you.